This is Marvel Universe, Marvel's Greatest Battles comic packs, 2 packs featuring Wolverine and the Silver Samurai. Right here. Let's have them trade places. Alright, the figures are part of the second wave for the 2011 Marvel's Greatest Battles comic packs, while they're part of the third installment overall of these Greatest Battles 2 packs. These are the packs that followed the Secret Wars 2 pack series, in case you were wondering. Now, before we begin, as always, these guys will move to the side. Let's have a look at the packaging. Marvel's Greatest Battles comic packs, Wolverine and the Silver Samurai. It's got that shield logo going on at the back, Marvel Universe. And on the back, you get to see the other assortment. And out here in Manila, everyone's killing themselves just trying to track down the Deadpool Taskmaster set, because that's the other set in the wave. And it's sold out in a lot of the stores, and what's left are these guys on the pegs. And I don't know, I think people are just killing themselves trying to look for these for the Deadpool Taskmaster, when they're actually missing out on a very interesting set. And in my opinion, I've opened both packs. This is the better pair in the wave. I absolutely think this is way better than the Deadpool and Taskmaster set. I mean, sure, Deadpool is very popular. The Taskmaster figure is a great sculpt, but this Silver Samurai figure is unbelievable. It is a brilliant figure. I'm not a big fan of the Samurai, the Silver Samurai. I hate him. But I was blown away with this figure. Also, the Wolverine figure, it's got its ups and downs, but this is by far my favorite Wolverine figure out of all the, there is another Wolverine I like, the 2 pack, the Target exclusive 2 pack with the black hand ninja. I like that Wolverine as well, but this one is one of my favorites. Definitely one of my favorite Wolverine figures, and I'll talk about that in a while. But first, let me give a little bit of a show and tell. Now, the box says it comes with a comic book, Wolverine #2, and this is the comic. Wait, let me just get rid of the figures. Just very quickly, I hope you'll bear with me. I'd like to do a little bit of show and tell with the comic books that it came with. This is the cover, the official cover of Wolverine Volume 1, Issue #2, the second comic book, the second issue of the Wolverine comic book, which was published back in the 80s. And it kind of faked me out a bit. I was a bit shocked when I opened the comic book. I was like, "Oh, all right, they're reprinting one of the rarest Wolverine comic books ever. Not the rarest, but one of the rarest, and it's pretty hard to come by." We actually bought our. I actually have the original issue. Actually, it's not mine. My brother, my youngest brother, back in the 80s, he was a nut. He was a nut about Wolverine. He was a Wolverine nut, and he bought almost all the Wolverine issues up to about issue 60 or 69, something like that. And I was really stoked that Marvel was going to reissue a very rare comic book. And lo and behold, I open it, and it's not issue #2 of the Wolverine series. Surprise, surprise. I mean, they picked a good comic to represent this 2 pack. I mean, it's actually, if you look at the back, it's actually I think, if I'm not mistaken, the byline, I don't know what this thing is called, but the credits say it is Hasbro / Wolverine Origins #42, October 2010. And this was the original cover. I mean, this is a great cover. I wish they would have used that. But apparently they couldn't use it because the figure they chose to pair with the Silver Samurai was the Patch, the Wolverine, aka Patch, character, and they were forced to use a different cover for it. But I wish they wouldn't have said includes Wolverine number 2. They should have said includes Wolverine Origins number 42, and it was pretty misleading for me. But anyway, what I wanted to show you guys was I actually have the original Wolverine issue number 2 comic book in mint condition. I'm just very proud of this. Actually, my brothers, I inherited all the comic books because they grew tired of it after a while. I was the only one who really didn't grow up from being a kid. If you weren't born during the 80s, this was published December 1988. The comic books weren't as ritzy and glamorous as they are today. They were printed in these very expensive sort of newsprint type of paper, and I mean the artwork wasn't much, but it was great. These comic books were really a source of inspiration for many people like me, you know, very nerdy people like me. Anyway, they were printed in these things, in these dull newsprint type of paper. It was pretty awesome back in the day. And this was actually the Wolverine issue number 2, and he was in Madripoor, I don't know, as Logan or Patch, and well, he had that eye patch. Okay, fine. He had an encounter with the Silver Samurai, and it's pretty cool. His thought bubble, his thought box says, "I know the armor, I know the weapon, I know the man only too well. Kinyuchio Harada, the Silver Samurai. Worse, he knows me and hates my guts." Just what this caper Flamin needs. I mean, Flamin. Who uses Flamin, right? It's pretty cool. And just like the WWE, WWF, or WWE, I suppose, the brawl gets interrupted by none other than Jessica Drew. Well, whatever. It was one of the. It's a great comic book. I mean, back then this was really awesome. I mean, we actually bought this issue in the U.S. at a comic book shop. It was priced like something like close to $20. It was that bad. I mean, we bought it in the 90s, and it was something like that. Anyway, I've spent 7 minutes talking about crap, not even discussed the actual figures. But anyway, these are 2 figures, and 2 awesome figures, and I'd really like to share my thoughts with you, apart from the show and tell. So thank you for bearing with me on that. Let's start with the Wolverine figure, since it's the easier one. There is no base included. This is a Star Wars base, obviously. Let me stand him up. He's a mix mash of several parts. I'm pretty sure of that. I mean, it's a great sculpt. Great paint apps. For once, no quality issues on the paint apps. I absolutely love it on this figure. And what really got me to liking this figure are the claws. They're not linked together. They're actually separate individual claws, which was very nice on Hasbro. Thank you for listening to the fans and giving us really a genuinely clawed Wolverine. Thank you. The claws are more genuinely. Well, they're believable now. Let's just put it that. Sadly, the head sculpt isn't as great. I mean, look at that. It's just. Let's see if you can see it. It's like one of the worst Wolverine head sculpts there is. I don't know if it's a recycled head mold, but somebody tell me what it is. I'm sure some of his body parts are recycled. Somebody tell me where they got him from. But it's a very good combination of recycled parts, if at all. The articulation on the arm is really a Star Wars articulation figure because there's no bicep swivel. There's really just a ball hinge elbow. But everywhere else is a Marvel Universe a Marvel Universe joint, and it's very cool. And I actually like this figure. I'm really gushing over yet another Wolverine figure. So very cool. Good job, Hasbro. Next we have the pièce de résistance, or really the Mona Lisa or centerpiece of this set, and unbelievable. This figure is just brilliant. I cannot imagine why the fans would not want to pick this one over the Taskmaster or Deadpool. I saw them in pictures. I have to admit, I wasn't blown away with internet pictures on this one. When I saw it up close, I wasn't going to get this guy, but I could not resist getting him because the sculpt is wonderfully done. Just the amount of detail on the armor, no quality issues for once. Well, there's a little bit on the faceplate, on the head sculpt. There's a little bit of overlapping there or lack of paint and somewhere in the cheek, but that's a very minor thing. Overall, the paint apps on this guy is fantastic. So for once, I'm not hating quality issues on a Marvel figure. Second, articulation is just off the hook. I mean, he's got a ball jointed neck with a hinge, so he can, I look up. He's got a ball hinge shoulder, bicep swivel, hinge elbow, swivel wrist, ball jointed upper torso. He's got this the latest Marvel Universe hip joint, which is a ball jointed hip with a thigh swivel, which is very cool. Double jointed knees, a calf swivel, I suppose, a hinge ankle with another hinge, which is like the Mace Windu Commando Droid Modular Armor Iron Man ankle joint, which really means that with this joint you can have his feet splayed and still be balanced and flat-footed, which is very, very cool. I wish Hasbro would use more of this leg joint, these ankle joints and these hip joints. It just brings a lot of drama to the figure in terms of posability. The figure comes with 2 swords, which you can sheath on his armor. There is no actual scabbard. There's just these holes that you can stick them into. Well, I would have wanted opened hands, but they gave him closed hands with holes. Not entirely sure why they did that. It reminds me of the ninja, the red ninja figure, but I suppose they wanted a good grip on the swords. So that's pretty cool. Overall, in all the figures in this wave, this is the best figure of the lot. Deadpool, Taskmaster, Wolverine, and him, hands down, the best figure in the lot. So for those of you who never thought twice about getting this figure, about passing up on this figure, please check it out again on your local. It's on retail, I'm sure, in your area. Check it out. You might be blown away. You might find yourself surprised at how good this thing actually is. So, I'm not doing Hasbro a favor. I mean, Hasbro has done great work in some of their figures, and this just happens to be one of them. I'm not just trying to sell it for them. I'm just trying to give fans an option on this one because people might have overlooked this one. I'm telling you, this set is I think the better set between the two. I honestly think so. And I'm even tempted to display these guys outside of packaging because all my 2-packs, my comic packs, 2-packs, they're all hung on the wall back in the packaging. These, I'm tempted to just display them, but we'll see. So there you go. A very lengthy review, but I certainly think it's worth it. I do hope I've tried to make some of you lean on one side of the fence over the other. For those of you still deciding, pick this one up. I guarantee you will be pleased with these. Even I'm not a fan of the samurai. Again, let me stress that, but I love the figure. So there you go. The Marvel Universe, Marvel's Greatest Battles, Comic Packs 2-packs featuring Wolverine and the Silver Samurai. Thanks for watching.